What's good?
What's going on? What's going on?
How are you living? How are you?
Man, can't complain. Can't complain.
Okay. See, I had to wear the fitted this time. Last time I wore the jacket, you didn't thought I was joking about the Captain America.
Okay, I see the guy. Hey, you know what they say? Sun's out, guns out. It's getting warm outside, man. You got to show what you got.
It's getting warm, so every day I'm in the gym. I told you, Captain America, I take it seriously. But what's new with you? Anything new in the day of life of B Wood? You got your workout in? You're
Yeah,
good?
man, got the workout in this morning, man. Got to go on NBA TV tonight, studying my notes and stuff. So just a little short work day, little quick
I
3 hour
always
shift.
right. I always hit you with the agenda, like we got to talk about this and this and this and that. Is there anything in particular right now in the league that's a must? Like, hey, what's going on right now? Is it Anthony Edwards locking up Paul George, coming in the clutch, showing you he's the next face of the NBA? Is it Victor's head above the rim? Is there anything right now to start off that sticks out to you in the NBA?
I mean, there's so much going on in the league. You can go anywhere. One thing right now that I'm seeing, obviously Luka with all the 30-point triple doubles.
Crazy.
But I'm gonna throw this one out to you, and then
Okay.
I'm gonna give you when you look at his usage rate and
Mm-hmm.
how he's playing and how he doesn't play off the ball. What makes Luka different and his style different than Houston James Harden?
B Wood, you were talking my language. I said this years ago, and I told J Mac, co-host of the Herd, shout out to J Mac, and I was like, I'm selling my Luka stock. He's like, what? I'm like, not because of how talented he is. It has nothing to do with that. But when you look at him being the system, there's only been one guy, and yes, I know I bring up LeBron, but there's only one guy that's truly been the system and is able to win consistently, but he's not the defender of LeBron and he's not the athlete of LeBron, and that's not sustainable. Throughout NBA history, you don't see anyone being the system and winning traditionally. That's not how it works. And eventually, the combo changes very quickly from you're amazing to, oh, can you win playing like that? So he's going to get these stats. He's going to get these MVPs, but I agree 100% with you. It's Houston James Harden.
Here's the thing about that's different with LeBron. You can go back and watch whether it's LeBron and D Wade, LeBron and Kyrie. Like Kyrie used to have years where he led the team in Cleveland and shot attempts.
Right. That's true.
The difference is Bron knows how to play off the ball. Like it's nothing for Bron to throw it ahead and get out in transition and run and get a fast break layup. It's nothing for Bron to throw the ball to Kyrie, run, set a screen, slip the screen, go down the lane. Like being able to play without the ball is a skill that adds another layer of offense, which you will need in the playoffs. And when you watch Luka, it's like, okay, even when he gives it up, it's like, okay, he throws it to Kyrie and he stands. It's like, nah, you got that's the same thing Houston James Harden was doing. Luka got to learn how to play without the ball a lot better if this Dallas team wants to go as far as they can, because you get to the playoffs and all these possessions where you're the only person that touches the ball. Man, that's hard to win that way in May against a very good defensive team.
Yeah,
you done played 82 games. You done played a hard playoff series. Now you're in round 2, trying to do it all over again against some A-list defenders. That's a tough way to play.
Yeah, to beat a team 4 times in 7 games, and they know it's easy to strategize. It's not easy to stop Luka. I don't think you ever stop him, but you clearly know what the game plan is. Get the ball to Luka and get out the way. And you mentioned Kyrie Irving. For Bron, he has Kyrie Irving. So there's clearly a blueprint before him. Hey, this is how you do it. You clearly have a guy who can go get you a bucket. It's not like he doesn't have help either.
And this is the other thing that are you worried that when you look back at the players that have been on Dallas, we see what Jalen Brunson is, but he wasn't that when there was that much ball dominance. People thought Porzingis was cooked. Now soon as he went to Washington, he's back averaging a certain amount of points. He goes to Boston. Okay, the points are down, not down from Washington, but he's still a major factor in what they're trying to do. And you just like, why didn't either of these guys work in Dallas? Like Dallas had that's a championship level team if they can make all that work. If you got Brunson, Porzingis, but if for some reason it didn't fit, and you got to start asking yourself questions nowadays.
I'm about to say that is a great point. Players that have left Luka are thriving. And, like, Jalen Brunson's leap is crazy. It's not like he's just doing good. Like, he's amazing. Yeah. He's like, he won't win MVP, but you can make a case that he should be somewhat in that discussion, his level of play and the impact he's having. So let me ask you this. Who tells Luka, to give up the ball? Is it Mark Cuban? Is it Kyrie? Is it Coach Kidd? Who does that?
Keith Sweat. Nobody.
No.
Nobody. Nobody. The only way that's going to work is for Luka to acknowledge that he has to change.
Mm-hmm.
Because if Jason Kidd says, "Hey, you got to play a different way," and Luka doesn't acknowledge it, it won't work. It's kind of like we talk about Mike, the GOAT. You know, the GOAT, MJ.
Yeah, he's one of them for sure.
Yeah, he's the GOAT. But the thing is, when Phil Jackson came in, he said, "Hey, man, you got to run the triangle.
Mm-hmm.
You got to get some of these other guys involved as well." Like Mike had already been Defensive Player of the Year and MVP in the same season before Phil got there, but he was willing to listen to the coaching, and so Luka, I guess, to answer the question, Jason Kidd has to tell him, and Luka has to be responsive and say, "Okay, you know what? I have faith in what you're telling me. I'll learn to play off the ball." But learning to play off the ball is hard for somebody that's had the ball in their hands since they were like 15, 16 years old. It's not like trying to learn how to shoot, where in the summertime it's like, okay, I'm putting in this amount of reps to get my jumper right. Like, he just has to figure out, like, through playing games with 20,000 people in the stands, when I throw the ball to Kyrie, I got to cut. I got to empower my teammates, hit the ball ahead, sprint through, do all the little things to help you win a championship.
I was just about to say that. Like, Mike at least had Phil to go and talk to him, and that was courageous of Phil to tell an MVP to take the ball out of your hands after averaging 30. That's like Luka is on the cover of 2K. He's the man from his country. He's winning. Well, he hasn't won an MVP, but he's throwing up crazy stats. What was it, like 5 games in a row, triple doubles? Yeah. How do you say no to not doing that? And I guess just like you said, he has to acknowledge that within himself what his priority is.
Well, listen, star players set the culture. Star players empower their coaches. So if your coach tells you to do something and you say, "Nah, I'm not going to do it," coach can't bench you. So either you're going to empower your coach, he's going to tell you to do something, and you're going to be humble enough to be like, "Okay, I'll try it your way and see how this works and see how it impacts the team," or you can try to do it your way and say, "You know what, I just think my way's the way," and it just depends on what type of personality we're dealing with.
So let's just say hypothetically he gives up the ball, he plays more in the system. Does this Dallas team, as currently constructed, this roster, could they win a championship?
I think they could. I think it would be tough though, because it's hard to start. Like, there's probably like a month left in the season.
Yeah,
it's hard to say all of a sudden, "Hey, I want you to play different right now." Mm-hmm. Like this, honestly, they have to play it out this year and see what happens, and then go into the offseason and say, "Luka, this is the plan. You have to be in a little bit better shape because we want you to run a lot more without the ball. And this is how we want the offense to look." And then you got to implement that in training camp, show him film, take it through the preseason, all through next season. And then hopefully by the time you get past the All-Star break, he's become more comfortable. But right now, he's comfortable dominating the ball. He doesn't know another way to play.
No.
And that's why, unfortunately, with as tough as the West is, I'm not sure if the Mavericks can make a championship run just because he's so ball dominant.
You've been teammates with Kyrie in Cleveland, right? Or is that okay? So, and I've interviewed Kyrie. I think he's very misunderstood. He seems like a real good dude. Is he the type of guy to say, "Hey, I think, well, Luka, we got to do it this way"? Because he's a veteran to Luka.
Yeah.
Do you think Kyrie's the type of guy that would do that? Is that in his personality to go ahead and have that conversation with Luka?
I think Kyrie's definitely not afraid to speak his mind, for sure. We've seen that. So, I mean, if he needs something to get done, he'll say it. But like I said, Luka's the man.
Right.
Whatever he says goes. So whether it's Kyrie, Jason Kidd, Mark Cuban, if people are telling him he needs to give up the ball more, he has to be receptive of it. He has to watch film, and then he has to figure out how to implement that in the game plan. But he could also just be like, "Nah, I like playing this way." And when you watch Dallas play, it looks like he likes playing the way where he dominates the ball and gets all the stats. I mean, that's what we saw from Houston Harden. That's like, "Hey, man, he looks like Slovenian Harden to me, man. Might as well just grow a mohawk and a beard."
No, honestly. And we got a question here. Shout out to Fantasy Football Show. That is actually what I was just about to bring up.
That's my guy.
The Phoenix Suns, we talk about people with a good streak. KD is balling. Like KD, when we talk about the greatest players in the league right now, it's crazy that KD is not one of them. Well, it's not crazy, but it's just new to not make. He's what?
KD gets hate. KD doesn't get the just due he deserves. because they still got the Golden State residue on them. People still don't want to forgive him for going to Golden State. So that's why he don't get the credit that he deserves. But the greatness, like KD's 35 years old, averaging like 27, 28 points, shooting 50% from the field. Like what he's doing at his age and the way he's still scoring so easy and now he's defending, it's truly amazing. If you're really watching every night, you know how well KD's playing, but a lot of people don't want to give him credit. They want to say, oh, he ain't the bus driver. They want to invalidate his championships, and that's why KD doesn't get mentioned in the realm or in the light that he should.
Do you think KD's Phoenix Suns, like I still believe, are they a championship team like Denver or put together like the Clippers? No, but they're still a scary team to play if you're playing in the playoffs because those three guys, either one of those three guys can give you 50 any given night. Do you believe the Phoenix Suns could surprise a lot of people come postseason?
Yeah, the Phoenix Suns are a team that, as the years gone on and they've gotten healthier, they've started to look better. Obviously, now that Bradley Beal's back, but then, Booker's missed some time. And that's the biggest thing. They got to get all three of those guys out there for this last month and some change of the season. Those guys got to play a lot of games together because we understand how dynamic and how good all three of them are, but they got to understand what it looks like on a consistent basis with all three guys. But I will tell you this, that's a scary roster based on the top heaviness of it with that big three. Booker, Beal, or KD, any of them can take you out at any time. But then the biggest thing to me is two moves. One, getting Royce O'Neal in.
Okay.
A true two-way guy. He can hit the corner three. He can defend. Perfect type of player for what they need. The second thing is Grayson Allen being the best three-point shooter in the league this year. So I knew Grayson could shoot, but I didn't know he could shoot it like that.
It's crazy.
I mean, he's known more for tripping people than shooting the three. And this year, he was known to crane kick you in college. You know what I'm saying? I guess that's what they teach at Duke. I just saw Filipowski do it to my main man Harrison Ingram like the other weekend. That must be part. That must be part of like the Duke legacy, man.
Part of it.
Yeah, man. But Grayson Allen shooting the ball the way he's shooting is going to create space.
Yeah.
He's a better driver and defender than you give him credit for. So having Grayson Allen and Royce O'Neal, those guys will be big for Phoenix in the playoffs. So Phoenix is not the type of team you want to play. There's not an easy matchup in the Western Conference at all in the first round. Not at all.
There's really not. I was just about to ask you that. And shout out to Grayson. Yeah, he had like 7 threes in the first quarter again. You have Thunder. You have Clips, Timberwolves, Denver. Like, there's no easy out. And then, of course, yeah, you have the Phoenix Suns. You have Dallas. The play-in tournament, this may be, the first year I think they said you can have LeBron, KD, and Steph all in the play-in tournament. Yeah. Do you feel there's a team that's lower like the Phoenix Suns that could come out the West? Like, you know how last year the Lakers were in the play-in and all of a sudden they're in the Western Conference Finals? Or do you feel like there is a gap between those top 3-4 teams and the teams we're talking about now?
No, I don't think there's a gap. I think the only team out there to me that I feel super confident in is the Denver Nuggets. And that's just because when you watch them play, their system is always flowing. Even when they lose, you're like, they lost tonight, but they understand how to move the ball, who's getting the ball where, offensive sets and execution. Some nights the ball doesn't go in. You know what I'm saying? But you watch them play, they consistently get good shots from the same players in the same areas. Everybody else, it can go 1,000 different ways on 1,000 different days.
Yeah.
The Pelicans could win a first-round series. The Sacramento Kings could win a first-round series. We're talking about OKC, Minnesota. Like, there's so many. And then you got the play-in teams. You don't nobody want to see LeBron and AD first round. If you think Minnesota with Karl Anthony Towns possibly not playing wants to see LeBron James in the first round? No. So it's the only team I feel super confident in is Denver. Everybody else I think could be either a Western Conference Finals team or a one and done team. Denver's the team I think they're going to be in the Western Conference Finals based on how Jokic is playing. He's about to win his 3rd MVP. That's best player in the league. Best player in the league. And so, and then I think that
you had to throw that in there.
Oh, for sure. Like, I got a lot of hate when I was saying that like 3 years ago. People thought it was crazy.
You did.
People thought it was really crazy. So I think Denver, I feel confident about them making the Western Conference Finals. Everybody else, it's a toss-up. If the Clippers make it, that wouldn't surprise me. If Phoenix made it to the Western Conference Finals, that wouldn't surprise me. Everybody else can make OKC. A lot of these teams can make it.
I hope Jokic knows how ahead of the curve you were when it comes to supporting him.
I mean, I'm a big man. When I see big man greatness, I recognize it right away.
So let me ask you this. So Jokic is the best player in the world, won a championship. He's been the best player in the world for a couple of years now. I acknowledge that wholeheartedly. You were ahead of the curve. I told you that. If they do win another championship, are we talking like dynasty? I'm very careful when I say dynasty, but if you went back to back, and he's clearly been the best player for years in a row, if he wins another ring, are they like a sneaky dynasty that we're not even realizing because they may not be as sexy as the Golden State Warriors?
Yeah, I mean, if they win another championship, we have to put them on dynasty watch because that's what dynasties go to championships and have high level wins for 3, 4, 5 year windows. So if they win a championship this year, if they even make it to the championship this year, they got to be on the dynasty watch because it could either be a dynasty like we talk about where the Lakers are winning multiple championships in a row, or it could be a dynasty like when we were talking about the San Antonio Spurs where they would win it like every other year for like a 5, 6, 7 year span. So like you just got to figure out what it is. But if they make another run to the finals, yes, Denver is on. I'll say they're on dynasty watch.
Yeah, and what's scary about them too, not only do you have the best player in the world, you have all the right pieces that complement and make them with great coaching, and they're not old.
No.
Like Jokic is not old. It's not like he's on the back nine of his prime. You're still going to get a handful of years with him.
The thing that makes Denver so scary is that Jokic is a super physical big, dominating in a time where the league is no longer physical. So what it used to be is they would keep 3 guys that were built like me on the team because we had to go bang with Shaq. We had to go bang with Yao Ming. So you had guys like myself. You had the Kendrick Perkins. All these big bodies. You had to have multiple big bodies. Like when I first came into the league, like my first year, we had like Jahadi White, me, Kwame Brown, Eton Thomas. Like 4 just big dudes.
Yeah.
Because that's how you had to play back then. But now the league has gotten less physical. But then there's this one physical guy. And if you really watch the basis of what he does, Jokic's game is old school. When he catches it on the block, when he catches somebody small on him, it's 1 bounce, 2 bounce, jump hook. 1 bounce, 2 bounce, drop step. Up, pump fake, up and under, step through. He's not trying to face up and jab step you to death when he has somebody smaller on him on the block. And that's why he's so hard to guard because the athletic guys like a Bam, you saw what he did to Bam in the finals. There's 1 bounce, 2 bounce, go right through your chest.
He's physical. That's so underrated. You think of the passing. No, he doesn't settle for anything.
He runs right. He runs the court hard seals at the front of the rim. So that is the key to Jokic's success. Outside of the skill set, he is a physical big in a time where the NBA has gotten less physical. Most teams don't have enough players to match up with him.
You mentioned who you've played against. Who's the most physical player you've ever played against?
Shaquille O'Neal, without a doubt.
And when did you play? When did you play against Shaq?
I mean, I came in the league in 2001. He was still with the Lakers then, man. Oh my goodness. Hey, man, listen, dog. I'm talking about LA Shaq. Man, listen, dog. He hit me with a bow in my chest so hard. He bruised my sternum, and I couldn't laugh for a week. Every time I laughed, it hurt. And so, like Jared Jeffers, kept trying to make me laugh. I'm like, fam, please stop telling jokes, dog. My chest hurts, man. This is a big human being I was playing against.
So he was that physical. Like people, I mean, nowadays obviously the league has changed and people may not have always watched Shaq, but he was unstoppable. Any era, Shaq is unstoppable.
Shaq, come on, man. Shaq stands on any Martin Luther and gets it done. Like Shaq was bigger than you, stronger than you, faster than you, and so there was nothing you can do because it's like, okay, well, I don't have the size to keep him off the block. But when he wants to, he's just as fast or faster than me. And then he can jump and he's explosive. Like, man, Shaq was a one-man wrecking crew.
Did he talk trash? Shaq talk trash to you?
No, not really. You know what? He hated floppers. And I didn't really flop that much. So, and then I was a young pup back then, too. So, like, he didn't really, like, Shaq didn't really take that matchup serious. He didn't treat me like I would watch games and I'd be like, yeah, he ain't going at me like how he going at Mutombo. Remember he would, like, drop step, elbow Mutombo in the face, dunking on him. I'm like, yeah, he don't go at me like that. So I never really, and I ain't want to wake big fella up either. Like, So long, he hated floppers. So I remember our coach, Eddie Jordan, was like, man, the first play of the game, just try to take a charge on him. I was like, yeah, okay, coach. I told my team, I'm not doing that shit, man. Shaq hates that, man. I'm not pissing that man off. Coach, you done lost
Yeah,
your mind. Unless you're going to come guard Shaq. You can come guard Shaq and try to flop on him. I'm not.
yeah, no.
Shaq, remember he used to hate Vlade D-Box because he used to flop.
Mm-hmm.
And so, like, one time, he's like, I always respect you, young fella, because you play me straight up. You don't try to flop. I hate them floppers. I'm like, Shaq hates floppers. Yes, sir. No flopping for me.
No. Oh, and then I'm surprised you didn't say BBQ or anything. That's his thing. Barbecue chicken, none of that. Okay.
Nah, man. Plus, man, a couple times, man, like when I caught Shaq early Shaq in LA, Kobe was on the team, and we had Mike. So Kobe was Kobe was shooting. Kobe was shooting everything because he was trying to, he was still trying to prove something to Mike. Like, dog, I was on the team where Kobe gave the Wizards, I want to say, look this up to make sure I'm factual. I think he gave us 45 points in the first half.
45?
I think he gave us 45 points in the first half.
So he was making sure he wanted to make sure.
Look that up to make sure I'm if it wasn't 45, it was 35. But I thought it was like you remember the song "Hovey Baby" by Jay-Z?
Yeah.
Can't shake the unshakable, break the unbreakable. It's Hovey, baby. Hey, listen, dog. I Staples is a wine and cheese crowd. I've never seen Staples like this. They like listen. The crowd, they started playing it over the speakers. They were like, shake the unshakable, break the unbreakable. It's Kobe, baby. But it was like all the rich white people yelling. I was like, man, what's going on here? They're like, Kobe. Like, I was like, yo, this is crazy. Like, I've never, like, little kids were in on it. I'm supposed to be, I'm supposed to be against them. I'm on the bench. I'm on the bench like this, man. It's Kobe, baby.
You're jamming to the wrong thing, man.
Let me chill out before my coaches get mad at me. Yeah, he
scorched
it. We were in LA. I want to say he had 45 at halftime. If he didn't have 45, it was 35.
And so you knew, even being on the Wizards, this is the next guy. Like, it was obvious.
He was already the guy.
Yeah.
Like, dog, it was like at that. By the time I got into the league in 2001, Kobe already had a championship. Like, we already knew that, like, Shaq and Kobe were two of the top 5 players in the league at that time.
Greatest duo ever.
Huh?
They're the greatest duo ever.
Yeah, possibly. I mean, they're right up there. I mean, like, depending on because I don't want to be disrespectful to the older generation because they're gonna talk about Magic Johnson and Kareem.
Mm-hmm.
That duo got a lot of rings as well.
Jordan,
a lot of hardware.
Pippen.
Jordan, you can't put Jordan Pippen in with Shaq and Kobe. I love what Pippen is. I don't disrespect Pippen, but Pippen isn't what Kobe is. You know what I'm saying? Like, you can't.
Yeah, there's levels. He's not there.
Yeah, Pippen's incredible. You know what I'm saying? No smoke for Scottie Pippen. But that Jordan Pippen is an incredible duo. But I would have Shaq and Kobe as a better duo, and I would have Magic
Kareem
and Kareem. Yeah, for sure.
Mm-hmm.
Got LeBron and D Wade too.
I'm about to say, how you can't leave LeBron and D Wade off there.
LeBron and D
But
Wade.
I'm
gonna put your boy.
You this though, Magic and Kareem have done more, and they obviously played with each other longer. And then all-time ranking, Magic and Dwayne Wade, Magic's above him, so I'll give you that one. But yeah, Shaq and Kobe to me, I feel is the greatest duo of all time. And it's the last three-peat we ever saw as well, right?
I think so.
Yeah, that's the last three-peat. B Wood, before I let you go, I know you got a busy day, you got some prepping to do. What is there anything else on your list? Anything else that you see in the league that people need to know, or anything that you have coming up?
Anything I see in the league that people need to know?
Talk to me.
Because I'm thinking about, we talk about the Western Conference. I think that what I'm seeing right now, and I think the league is seeing it right now, is that I don't know how far Minnesota's going to go this year, just because Karl Anthony Towns is hurt. But we know that Anthony Edwards is the next one. He's going to be one of those next guys. Like,
it's him.
He got the game on both ends. He got the confidence. He got the swag. Like, last night, they asked him after the Clipper game, Stephanie Reddy, my good friend Stephanie Reddy, she was like, Anthony, what did you see out there in this game tonight? His answer was the coldest, most pure, but most, like, it was the coldest answer ever to me. but it just showed the pure confidence he had. He said, "Man, I just saw a bunch of mismatches. He said once Kawhi went out, I saw a bunch of mismatches. They still got Paul George over there, dog. Like Terrence Mann can defend. Like dog, he's just like, yeah, like Kawhi was out. What did you see? I saw.
And he went at Paul George. He went and on the defensive end
and strapped him, dude. Like dog, like so, like Anthony Edwards. That's what I'm. Every time, like the other day when he had the 40-point game, and then he missed the free throw at the end of the game, but sealed it with the block. Like he's winning games offensively, defensively. Yeah. But when we talk about who's the next one, like I think Jokic is the best player. He's going to be the best player for the next couple of years. But Jokic doesn't have the personality to be what Ant-Man. Like Ant-Man got it all. He got the swag, the personality, the game. Listen, Minnesota's one of the best defensive teams in the league. He ain't ducking the smoke. He's guarding the best players. Man, he out there. He wanted Paul George. Yeah. Like if I'm Paul George and he says, I see a bunch of mismatches once Kawhi Leonard went off the court, Paul better take that personal. Paul, PG-13, you got to take it personal. You got to show this kid you rated R. You got to do something. You got to do something. You can't take this line down, Paul. P, I'm talking to you. Anthony Kawhi went out, and that man said, all I saw was mismatches. Paul, you are on the court. He is talking to you. I don't know, Paul George, I don't know if you know this. I don't know who needs to hear this. But Anthony Edwards was talking to you.
Yeah, he was going at him.
That's my daughter always does. You.
Yeah. Yeah, he got that MJ from The Last Dance. Mm-hmm. Yeah, he's got that going. But Wemby, I feel, is the next face. Anthony Edwards is the next guy sooner right there. And just to fact check you, Kobe had 42 in the first half against Jordan.
I knew it was 40-something. No, 42 in the first half. That's crazy.
And that's not this league. That's not the league today either. That's the league back then.
Listen, and he would have had probably like a 60, 70 point game, but they were dusting us, so they sat him down. Yeah, they didn't even have to play him like that. But yeah, it was a crazy game.
Yeah, that's disrespectful. Yeah, that's disrespectful. Well, B Wood, I appreciate you. I'm gonna be tuned in watching you tonight as well.
All right, man. Appreciate the love, man. Talk to you.
Yes, sir.